I'm Adam Watson.
I'm Julian Watson.
This is the Darkslayer Mafia Power Hour. Seems like a lot of my friends on Facebook have been posting images from lanterns, and that inspired me to take a look through something Green Lantern. Found this Guy Gardner in the bins, issue number 1. Seems like a good place to start.
Yeah,
What do you think of this cover?
it's alright.
He's the dorkiest looking superhero.
Yeah,
So it starts off with a cow selling you Final Fantasy.
amazing.
Yeah. I don't know what a cow has to do with Final Fantasy, but it does say Final Fantasy down there. So, you know. And then we get a Guy Gardner opening up splash page. It's not particularly well drawn, but not particularly badly drawn either.
Yeah,
He looks kind of like if Guy Gardner were being redesigned as a He-Man action figure.
yeah.
So this is written by a writer whose name I'm not going to say.
Oh,
I doubt this book will ever see reprint as long as he's alive, because I doubt DC wants to pay him any money, and I don't blame him.
oh,
Let me just say he's a piece of shit, and if he were wealthier, he'd probably be on the Epstein list.
oh.
Yeah. So, you want to look at what his name is there? Go ahead. But we're not looking at it for who wrote this. Joe Staton was the penciler. Terry Beattie is the inker. Albert D. Guzman is the letterer. Anthony Tolan did the colors. Eddie Berganza is the assistant editor, and Kevin Dooley is the editor. So, Guy Gardner has Sinestro's power ring.
Oh,
It states many pages later that that's what the ring is.
yeah,
If you pick this up just because it's in issue number 1 that you want to try, though, and you know very little about Guy Gardner, which was the case for me, I chose this because it was an issue number 1 of something Green Lantern, I think you're just going to be confused. Like, I knew he was a Green Lantern. I knew some point in the future he becomes a Red Lantern. I never knew he used Sinestro's ring. And it'd be nice if we had some sort of recap that told us why.
yeah. It's very confusing.
Right? So, Guy decides he's just going to start tearing shit up in New York. Which I must not know very much about DC Comics, period, because I didn't know there was a New York City in DC Comics.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought Metropolis and Gotham kind of overrid some of the bigger cities there,
yeah,
but apparently not. So his whole objective here is he's going to take down anyone who he views as scum. That includes the people running the porn theater, who probably actually aren't doing anything, and people who just so happen to be in the vicinity of a drug house. He tears it completely apart. So, like here, I noticed, this is yellow light, so must be Sinestro, and it does state later on that he's wearing Sinestro's ring, but I don't know how.
yeah,
Then we get some talking head news people talking about how Guy doesn't have the right to just tear apart shit just because he wants to. And the Justice League is really pissed off about it. A weirdly drawn Superman.
yeah.
This face is so bad. That's the thing, is the body shape language and everything in this isn't bad, but the expressions are what don't hold together very well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Superman shows up and threatens Guy, basically. He needs to stop doing this shit. He's acting more like a villain than a hero. And Guy decides he's going to take off. That's when you find out that Ice was apparently his girlfriend before this page. I kind of know who she is. I know she's in the Justice League at this time period. But he feels like she's siding with Superman. So he decides he's just going to go ahead and dump her and get together with any of his adoring fans, which there is a mixture of people out here who both want him and want to kill him.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's both sides of a protest going on. And then a little sleazebag approaches him. You can tell this guy's a sleazebag because he's drawn like something that comes from Mr. Mixtaplex world.
Yeah.
Why is he designed like that?
I don't know.
He's so friggin' weird.
He looks like a mad character.
Right? Yeah. So somewhere in here, it might actually be the previous page. Guy makes a comment about how maybe he'll go teach those liberals a lesson for being so soft on crime. We live in a liberal state. They are soft on crime. There's no lie about that. Like, you know, we live in a state where somebody can molest a kid and get 3 months in prison for it. So there's no doubt about that. The guy who wrote this probably benefited. He's not in prison right now, so he probably benefited from liberals who are soft on crime after having written that. But the one thing I was going to state is guys like him, they've always got to throw it in some way, shape, or form being soft on crime.
Yeah.
Is he like flaunting his crimes by pointing that kind of thing out? I don't know that he was already committing crimes when this issue came out. I don't know at what point, you know, those started becoming a thing. But it is kind of weird because, you know, you see that whole thing playing again and again on Facebook and all those sites where somebody will have just devoted their whole life to going on about this, and then it turns out they're getting arrested for possession of or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of seems weird in a way that it wouldn't if the writer hadn't been charged with what he's been charged with, you know? Yeah, so Guy's all pissed off and is going to, I guess, kill a guy with his ring for throwing a tomato with him.
Yeah.
When he's stopped by this little weird freak who tells him that he should be charging money for his heroics.
Yeah.
It's not explained whatsoever how he's going to start getting paid as a superhero. And also, I thought that he could only make constructs using yellow. Why is that showing up green?
Color error or something?
Maybe, or maybe it was just that this book was just putting a number one out for a cash grab because number one issues were selling well during that time. I don't know.
Yeah.
This series gets the weirdest remake around like number 18 or something because Guy Gardner becomes Guy Gardner Warrior. And he has like the ability to make his limbs into weapons or something like that. Yeah, this is a good ad. I like that. Yeah, so then we get a whole needless page of dialogue between Flash and Superman. Like literally none of this is needed.
Yeah.
Where the Flash needs to call in Green Lantern by telling him that there's a beautiful woman on the televid thing for him. And then it's just a whole thing that's completely needless where Superman is telling Hal that Guy needs to be dealt with. This is so needless because Flash, Superman, and Green Lantern do not have a confrontation with Guy Gardner in this issue besides what Superman already did.
Yeah.
And Superman's coming across as way more of a controlling dick than what you think of his character as being.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool, though. Green Lantern sends a signal up to Oa to talk to the Guardians. I've not read hardly any Green Lantern comics. I don't have a good basis for what normally happens in them, right?
Right.
But I did like this, that he sends a signal up and it's a projection of his head, all Wizard of Oz style. That's pretty cool. So he tells him Guy Gardner is a big problem, but he does not yet want to do it through physical confrontation. He thinks communication is a way to do it still. And he knows who they should send in. So who do they get for the mission? Kilowog. You don't have to know very much about Green Lantern to know he's not somebody who settles things through communication.
Yeah.
And then we see a kind of amusing use of Guy Gardner's powers. I like that he's doing all that stuff with his ring instead of doing anything on his own.
Yeah.
He's just using up all the power in it. But then he's a total dick who splashes a little dog in the head with beer.
Yeah.
I don't know who this character is supposed to be.
Me neither.
It's his roommate, I know that. But beyond besides that, while they're arguing out the merits of getting paid for your job, the building starts getting shaken apart by two Green Lanterns. I don't know who they are. That apparently their whole thing as lanterns is that they just beat the shit out of each other repeatedly. And then another lantern showing up who is apparently using his powers to become a superpowered furniture mover, if Guy's telling the truth. And apparently he fought them all with Sinestro's ring and broke the power battery, so their rings don't work currently, but they still altered them. And I'm just going to point out, we saw Hal's ring work.
Yeah.
So how is his ring working if none of the other stuff is?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. Guy wisely decides to use his power to jack up the building, and then decides he's just going to take all three of these guys on. Starts beating the shit out of them when all of a sudden his ring runs out of power. He thought this ring never needed to be recharged, so he's never recharged it, and he doesn't even know how because he doesn't have a Green Lantern like light to recharge this with, like he did with his other power ring. And then we get to see these guys coming towards him. They're kind of coolly drawn. His face kind of ruins the splash, though.
Yeah.
His face, and why are his hands drawn so smally?
I don't know.
Don't they look bizarre?
Yeah.
Like the bend in the knuckle on the thumb. I get that this last page might have been done on a severe deadline, right?
Right?
But there are so many oddities in it when you really look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, he didn't have a confrontation with Hal, or a real one with Superman, or Flash, or even Kilowog. There's a lot in here that seems like needless setup. And it might be setup that pays off in the second or third or fourth issue. But after reading this, there's no way in fucking hell I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
What about you?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, so does this make you interested in the character at all?
No.
No. Me neither. Me neither. Though we might take a look at the first issue of Guy Gardner Warrior at some point just because it's so ridiculous.
Huh.
So just as a reminder, we post videos every single day at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We do deep dives into comics by Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, every independent publisher you can think of. We also showcase books that we're distributing through Comics Mainstream and show things that are being published through Dark Slinger Comics. Please consider subscribing and hit the little notification bell so that you can see when our next video goes live. You got anything else, Sean?
Nope.
All right, let's go make some comics. We didn't create the comics that were featured in today's episode, but we did create these. Check out Ghost Assassin in the Cards and the Chihuahua Who Flew Away mini comic, both of which were written by me. The Chihuahua Who Flew Away was illustrated
by me.